Hello friends, welcome to the program on institutional management and administration. In the previous session, we have dealt with strategic planning and its importance in the growth and development of any institution. We have also tried to understand the process of strategic planning. Friends, in today's session, we shall learn something about SWOT analysis, which forms the basis of any strategic plan. SWOT analysis is a strategic planning tool used to evaluate the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats involved in a project or in the evaluation of any institution. It is used in the initial stages of any project and it measures functional unit, a proposition, or an idea. There are two parts of any SWOT analysis. First part comprises of strengths and weaknesses which come from internal factors. Second part is opportunities and threats which come from external factors. Friends, SWOT analysis helps in decision making of how the institution may use its strengths and opportunities to overcome weaknesses and threats. As told earlier, it is generally performed in the early stages of any project development process of in the institution. It helps in the institution to evaluate the external environment and internal situation facing a project. It is a known fact that strengths and weaknesses are attributes that measure the internal capability of the institution, and opportunities and threats refer to how the external environment affects our team, business, group, and institution. Some of the examples of strengths and weaknesses can be experience of the organization in terms of its projects and programs, resources, their availability and utilization, patents, good reputation, originality in the area of their work, customer service, efficiency in the activities performed, competitive advantages. These are some of the possible examples of strengths and weaknesses. Similarly, networking and its implementation with the other organizations is an example of opportunity. New products, programs, and their services are example of opportunities and threats. Increasing market demand, targeting a new market segment, for new projects and programs, unfilled customer needs. These are some of the examples of opportunities and threats. For conducting any SWOT analysis, as said earlier, internal scan of the organization is very important. Internal scan leads to strengths and weaknesses. This external scan is dependent on 4 P's. Let's discuss these 4 P's one by one. First P is people, means human resources. Under this category comes teaching staff, administrative staff, technical sporting staff, technical non-teaching staff. All the people are under this category, broad category. In this category, what we try to measure? We try to measure their availability, adequacy, their qualifications, their experience in the area. This is the quantitative side of scan. More importantly is the qualitative side of the scan, under which we try to measure the commitment, their motivation, their morale, their attitude towards the work. All these play a significant role in the understanding of the strengths and weaknesses of the organization in terms of its people. Then comes the second P, properties, its quality, its maintenance, its availability. These are the 3 issues which are very important under this P part of the internal scan. And under this comes infrastructure, buildings, labs, libraries, workshop, auditorium, guest house, equipment, machinery, tools, vehicles, furniture, etc. Their quality, their maintenance, these are very important issues. Third P comes as processes. All the processes involved in the running of an organization becomes important here, starting with governance, its quality, its implementation, decision making, then management and administration, curriculum development, teaching learning process, student support services, staff development, information system, communication system, and similar like all the processes are considered. Their quality, their implementation system, all these are taken care of under this P of internal scan. The fourth important P is products. Under this comes the students, their students' pass percentage in the examination, their final year results, their job placement, then publications of the faculty and staff, even of students, items manufactured or fabricated in the production center, IRG generated, patents developed, all these come under the products of any organization. The measurement of these 4 P's leads to the understanding of strengths and weaknesses of the organization. Let me tell you, the one important parameter which is on one side is a strength, on the other side it can be a weakness also. Take the example of faculty. Competent faculty in terms of their qualification, in terms of their experience and expertise is a strength. But if the same faculty is not motivated, not having an aptitude to work, morale is down, this becomes the weakness of the institution. That's the reason it is said the same thing which is a strength at one point of time becomes a weakness at the other point of time. So analysis of all these 4 P's leads to the understanding of the strengths and weaknesses of the organization. Second part of the SWOT analysis is opportunities and threats, which is based on the external scan. For this, the planners have to identify and evaluate the social, technological, economic, environmental, and political factors, mainly called STEEP, STEEP, in the environment outside the institution, which affects the success and survival of the organization. These factors, one by one, are social factors may be demographics, participation of women, opportunities and access to training and for disadvantaged people, etc. Technological factors may be impact of computer automation on the institution as a whole, modern communication technologies, ICT, microprocessor, etc. These technological factors impact the overall functioning of the organization and the departments or the programs being run by it. Then comes the economic factor under this LPG of economy. LPG means liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Development of specific industries based on the changes in economy, unemployment and underemployment, development of entrepreneurs, etc. These are the economic factors which are impacting any institution and its environment. Then comes the 4th E, environmental factors under this depletion of natural resources, environmental sustainability, pollution control, energy consumption, regulations of WTO. These are the parameters which need to be identified. Final part of the external comes out to be political factors like legislation affecting education and training, control of curriculum, budgets and teacher qualification, degree of central versus local control, etc. These are the parameters which must be considered for identifying the opportunities and threats for any organization. Hence, the aim of any SWOT analysis help the institution to change from weaknesses and threats into opportunities and ultimately into strengths. With this aim, any organization works and tries to overcome the weaknesses and threats and change them into opportunities and strengths. These strategies are called SWOT strategies based on its strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Some of the tools which are used for the SWOT analysis are questionnaires, interview schedules, observation schedules. All these tools have independent importance and are catering to different set of people. Questionnaires are suitable for conducting confidential written survey on large numbers such as students, teachers, alumni, etc. Interview schedules are important for a small number of powerful individuals. Observation schedules are important for assessing the infrastructure facilities and their maintenance. Various institutional processes like teaching learning, student services, governance, etc. are judged based on the observation schedules. Based on these tools, any organization can conduct a SWOT analysis and identify its strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Let's understand some of the important questions which can be part of any questionnaire for SWOT analysis. For strengths, we can always ask a question, what makes us so special? What resources, strategies, and performances do we handle well? This is based on 4 P's. What are our major internal strengths? In terms of weaknesses, the questions can be, what are our internal soft spots? What resources in terms of inputs, strategies in terms of processes, and performances in terms of outputs do we handle well or at all we are handling? This is based on the 4 P's. And another question can be, what are our major internal weaknesses? This gives us guideline to produce a set of questions for strengths and weaknesses. Similarly, for opportunities and threats, the questions can be, what trends and events can help us? What are the positive social, technological, economic, environmental and political forces acting on us? What are our major external opportunities for threats? What trends and events can hinder our growth? What are the negative social, technological, economic, environmental and political forces acting on us which are impacting our growth and ultimately hindering the overall development in the organization? What are the major external threats? These are some of the set of questions based on which a questionnaire can be developed and implemented in the institution to get the data from students, group, teachers, alumni or other major chunk who is participating in the overall development of the organization. Friends, summarizing, it is always said, SWOT analysis is a strategic planning tool which helps in identification of institutional strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. Strengths and weaknesses are identified based on the internal scan of the institute, and opportunities and threats are based on the scan of the environment around the institute. SWOT analysis can help in turning weaknesses and threats into opportunities and ultimately into strengths. Based on the identification of SWOT analysis, any organization can understand where we are today and if we are to move to higher goal, what actions we need to take. And accordingly, the action plan for the growth of the institution can be developed. Thank you very much, my friends. This is in all I wanted to convey you about the basics of SWOT analysis. I hope you must have understood it. If any queries are there, you can always email it and put your queries accordingly. We will try to help you out in solving those queries. Thank you very much, my friends. Thank you very much.